at least according to Gilbert
The
Arenas.
fuck is he talking about?
I think Pat Riley's number one without a generational type of talent. When you talk about generational people, he's had 3 of them. Right? His legacy, you can be the next Pat Riley. Well, hold on, wait, relax. He's had 3 generational talents. That's all his championships are under. Shit, Magic and Kareem.
Say yeah. James Worthy,
James Worthy wasn't a generational talent, but I'm just saying.
North Carolina's fine.
No, what I'm saying is that Magic and Kareem, you had both of them winning championships, and then you went to try to do something else. You had Dwayne Wade, then you got Shaquille O'Neal, right? You won, and then you got rid of them, and then you got LeBron James. When you're talking about the generational, those different makers, that's who your championships have been built off of. You never won a championships with teams or wasn't it? So Jimmy is basically the only player that's gotten you
Close to it.
close to it.
It is so crazy to me, and it's funny that no one's really talking about it, that the way that this clip started was this man claiming that out of all people, Pat Riley is maybe overrated or we overstate him a little bit too much.
I don't even hear about that nigga, bro.
Without a generational star.
I don't even know what that
and
is,
then
bro. I'm not
proceeded
gonna
to
lie,
say that
bro.
the closest he's been was Jimmy Butler. Pat Riley was coaching the New York Knicks in 1994, and he got to the finals and took Hakeem Olajuwon and the Houston Rockets to 7 games. So to say that Jimmy Butler is the closest you've ever been is just factually incorrect. Also, Pat Riley, while he was coaching the Knicks, literally some of the most successful seasons in franchise history, and then went on to coach the Miami Heat before Shaq got there, and to this day are just some of the most successful seasons in franchise history. When you're making these claims about his inability to lead a team or coach a team to win a championship without generational talent and believing that Jimmy Butler is the closest he's gotten, that's just factually incorrect. But just as a sidebar, I just had to put respect on Pat Riley's name. I just think this is a very, very terrible way to even make this argument.
Be real, how many teams have won without generational talent?
Steph is not a generational talent. Detroit.
Steph Curry's.
Steph is not a generational.
Steph not a generational.
You know what a generational? Wemby is a generational person.
Just I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. Even the niggas next to him are looking at you like that. Like, bro, how do you not read the room, bro? You're gonna pause. Wemby, nigga, he's not even like, bro. Come on, talent, bro. Generational talent, bro. Bro, come on.
Guys, so what are we doing right now? Are we about to go down this path of Steph not being generational? Now, I want to be clear. The point that Josiah made is still a very valid one. You can't really name too many championships in NBA history without a generational talent. Even if you want to go as far as to say that Steph isn't one, there's still only a handful. So the point that Josiah was making, that most coaches that go on to win a championship still did so with a generational talent. You sitting here trying to, again, put into question or belittle Pat Riley in terms of his ability to build a team, to coach one, to lead them to a championship, and saying he's never done it without a generational talent still is a very, very, very bad argument. I just don't understand why people, when having conversations about coaching, don't talk about who these coaches are in terms of how they scheme, their outlook and their philosophy on offense and defense. How do they, manage timeouts, rotations, like actual things that come with coaching? Because just because you haven't won a championship does not necessarily mean that you are a bad coach. Now, Nelson is a great example of it. But anyway, let's hear Gil out for a second. Let's see. Steph's not a generational talent. It's crazy.
Steph became
A great generational means you can't mimic it. You can't
came in at number one.
What you said, you can't.
I guess that's what generational is now. Sure. I guess it's defined generational as something you can't mimic, right?
Can you mimic Magic Johnson, 6'9" point guard with the vision? No. You can't mimic Shaquille O'Neal's body.
Kareem
and
Abdul-Jabbar.
you can't mimic fucking LeBron James. You can't mimic Wemby. Right?
So
there's only 5 or 6
skill is based on like physical
traits.
Okay.
So before we go into
Oh my God, bro. So, Michael Jordan, bro. Type shit. All right, bro.
this, because this is kind of blowing me. I'm
Yeah.
being open-minded. I'm being optimistic because technically speaking, when we do talk about the concept of talent, that is different from skill. Talent is God-given ability, things that you cannot teach,
Okay,
things
that's
that are
fine.
just given to you from birth, right? So yes, I do believe that there's physical traits, athleticism, quickness, speed that comes along with it that you cannot teach, that some of these other players have, that literally put them in class and give them a significant advantage in terms of their ability to just dominate. In those regards, especially depending on how you may feel about certain talents that certain people may have that benefits them in a skill standpoint, because I do believe there's certain talents that Curry has that just benefits him more skill-wise and probably physical traits or athleticism, right? Regardless, if you feel like what Curry does is a lot of skill, oh, okay, fine. I hear what you're saying. The whole mimicking thing, though, doesn't really make any sense. Because on one hand, you can't say that Magic is 6'9" with that vision, but then
that's gay.
James, who's
No,
also 6'9", 6'10",
I
with
just
vision. Like you can't say those things. But nevertheless, I can hear what he's saying. If there's a physical trait, physical stature, you're 6'9", 6'10", 6'11", with certain things that normally
like that's
not
talent though. Okay, maybe I'm. Okay, maybe,
players
right?
of that height status, certain levels of athleticism, physical traits such as your wingspan, hand, verticality, a bunch of stuff, right? Your your hand length, your quickness, your leaping abilities. Those are all traits that would, separate you from the field, and that's talent.
Physical traits is generational. Like somebody like Giannis is tweaking, right? Like Jokic is not a generational talent.
No.
He's just a great basketball player.
Yep.
Curry was a great basketball player.
Facts, bro.
He's already contradicted himself. Giannis is not tweaking. Giannis would be very clearly a generational talent. Someone who's
Like,
6'11",
are we
7 feet
serious?
tall, moving like that.
Tweaking?
That's not tweaking. That's very clearly generational talent. Go back to what you said. When it came to Magic, someone at 6'9" with that type of
Yeah.
vision
Wait.
cannot
So he's
be mimicked. Jokic is 6'11" with similar vision. Is that ever going to be mimicked? More than likely, no. So if that's not going to be mimicked, we've never seen it before, and it comes with the height, the stature, physical traits that we don't see players normally have. When players are 6'9", 6'10", 6'11", they normally don't have the passing ability that a Jokic has, especially when you're 6'11" and taller. You don't have that passing ability. You don't have that ball handling ability. There's several things that Jokic does that is just, I genuinely believe that is an inherent talent to him. Let's see how this continues to go, because you've lost me.
Generational is something that's once every 20.
Once every.
Like when it comes, you're like, ah, damn.
Sheesh, you got that?
And then that's what I said. And he's had 3 of them, 4 of them.
Josiah is like, this is a pretty interesting conversation we're having,
bro,
that I'm just not agreeing with at all. And I agree with Josiah. I understand what Gil is saying, but I know for a fact that it's still it doesn't really cater to the argument that he was having before, because again, most championships are won with generational talent. So denigrating Pat Riley like that doesn't make any sense. B, splitting hairs between Magic Johnson and a Giannis and a Jokic, to me doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't.
Duncan was Mr. Fundamental. Fundamental is what took him over the top. He was a great basketball player. Called freak of natures, when the freak of nature, like he's had the freak of natures.
So you wouldn't say Steph shooting
is not a freak of nature?
Makes him a
It's
freak of
called
nature?
hard working.
Absolutely.
Hard working. His shooting is freak of nature.
Absolutely.
He is not a freak of nature. Like when we say freak of nature, Bo Jackson, what is he?
Okay.
Okay.
That's okay.
Right? Okay. Deion Sanders, is Jerry Rice a generational talent?
No.
No.
Generational hands.
I mean, Steph played golf.
No.
I mean,
just became a-
he'll play basketball and then go. He'll play basketball and then go win a golf tournament.
That's what I said. Like he's a hard worker. That's the difference between like a Michael Jordan. They're generational. Their engines itself is what makes them there.
Would you say Kobe was a generational talent?
He wasn't.
Nope.
Hard work.
Hard work.
Oh, he was a prophet.
what?
I mean,
Did that
like
hard
a
work
prodigy,
turn him
he was
into a
prodigy.
generational talent?
As I said, it's just you got it's just the freak of you got the God's gift. That's what I said. It's
Yeah, about to say dots.
So, Brandon, would you
Michael
say that?
Jackson.
like that's what I said. Right now we're talking about what Wemby. You can say Luka.
So you put Luka in there, but you wouldn't put Joker in there.
Thank you.
Luka 6'10" point guard. I mean,
This is where again you're losing me, because
You're losing me.
I agree. If you're saying generational, yeah, Luka, 6'9", 6'10" point guard. As a sidebar, we're kind of debunk the idea that Magic Johnson isn't going to be mimicked when you're naming another player that effectively mimics a lot of what makes Magic generational. But nevertheless, if that's the case, then why wouldn't Jokic be generational? If Luka is generational, then why wouldn't Jokic also be generational when Jokic is 6'11", almost 7 feet tall, and has the same passing trait
what
and
the fuck?
ability that Magic and Luka and LeBron have? That just doesn't
What
make
the
any
f-
sense.
yeah, that's
And
Luka did it when he was 16. He was doing it where he was coming from.
Killing. EuroLeague MVP.
And
champ.
right now it's on. That right now is what you got. I mean,
No, I wouldn't say
KD.
Luka because he wasn't physically demanding when he came in. It wasn't demanding. He grow into that right now. I wouldn't say Luka.
We asked the chat, is Steph Curry generational? 71% said yes, Gil. This is your chat for your show.
put it like this. Then they can't be Steph Curry.
I think they would agree with you.
Wait, what? What does that mean?
This is your chat for your show.
Put it like this. Then they can't be Steph Curry.
I think they would agree with you.
What? Yeah, they can't be Steph. What?
Yes, my nigga. We would agree with you.
Yes. What the fuck?
Everybody won't agree with you, bro. That's the whole point. I think most people believe that Steph Curry shooting is not mimic. You cannot go out and do what Steph Curry does.
Yeah.
There are certain attributes and traits that Steph Curry
Right? That can't be mimicked. The
And
fuck?
it doesn't matter how many shots you put up, bro, you're not going to be able to shoot like Steph Curry. There is something that he possesses that makes him extremely and extraordinarily different from any and everyone else. I genuinely believe that just because you put up as many shots as Steph Curry does not automatically mean you're going to be shooting as good as Steph Curry or even close.
Because
Yeah, you're right. That's exactly what people believe. There are going to be more people who have the ability to mimic or come close to Magic Johnson's ability as a 6'9" guard with great passing vision versus Steph Curry's shooting ability. I actually believe that's going to happen.
No, what I'm saying is, then you can't tell your kids you can be the next Steph Curry. You can't be the next generational player. Right?
You're saying that, and it was crazy. Gil thinks he's making a point, and you're not, brother. You're saying that, but people have already said they're trying to be the next Jordan. They're trying to be the next LeBron. They're trying to be the next Hakeem Olajuwon or whatever player, right? You saying that you can't tell your kids you can't be XYZ, but there are several players who've been told they were the next iteration of a previous generational player. That's been happening for years now. And regardless of how you may feel that someone may mimic it or not, the truth of the matter is, like, the idea of telling your kid that they can be the next generational talent is something that's going to repeatedly happen because it's been happening the last 20,
I'm not gonna lie,
years now. So that's not anything new.
Wait, is that the argument?
Nobody could do what Michael Jordan did. We can analyze it, but we can't go out there and mimic it. Our fadeaway wouldn't look like his fadeaway. The moves, the croc, we couldn't do that.
Bro, y'all sit here and say Kobe does that? Bro, I'm floored right now. Y'all say that Kobe did that all the time. What are we doing right now? To sit here and to say that you can't mimic it when we've openly stated that there is a player who has been able to mimic it doesn't make any sense. What Gil needs to stick on is the physical traits, the physical attributes.
Yeah, because that makes sense. Low-key, because that's like something you can't argue that.
It doesn't matter
You can't
how
argue.
hard Kobe worked. It doesn't matter. His ability to jump as high as Jordan was never going to happen. His ability to float in air as long as Jordan was never going to happen. His wingspan, how wide his hands were, none of that stuff was going to happen. It didn't matter how hard Kobe worked. It was never ever going to happen that way. So in those regards, I understand what you're saying, but you can't say that you can't go out and mimic it, but then also say that Kobe went out and mimicked Michael Jordan. Like, you can't say that. It doesn't make any sense.
Same thing with Magic Johnson. Everybody couldn't go out there and be a 6'9" point guard sitting there doing little shit like that. We couldn't go out there and be Shaquille O'Neal coming in breaking fucking backboards at 7'1", right? We could not do it. We can't go out there and be fucking LeBron James.
Fair.
Well, y'all mean be generational?
He could have been.
Yes, bro. He's generation. What?
Y'all mean
It
was different. It's like the difference. You be like, he's different.
Yeah, generational.
He's different.
Like, that's what I said. Like, even someone like Tom Brady, he wasn't generational. His was all work.
Michael Vick was generational.
And then the 20 years after him came
Lamar Jackson
and Cam Newton.
RG3s, them type joints. But even them, it's like Cam Newton would probably be the closest one to Mike Vick because he came in as a 6'5". We never.
Like, think about it. You can't mimic 6'5", 230.
Yeah, that's what crazy. That's crazy.
And running.
That's what I'm saying. When we're talking about generate, we're talking about somebody you cannot recreate.
Okay,
So healthy Zion, generational.
Yeah. Cause we never seen anything like it.
Nigga, that nigga's big as
It was more a smaller, compact guy. Yeah.
Ray Lewis, different. Lawrence Taylor.
As long as they stick to the physical trait argument, I actually personally don't have a problem with this. Because a lot of people were having issues with saying that Curry isn't a generational talent. And as long as we stick through this ideology that talent is like physical traits that can't be taught, things that you cannot teach, it doesn't matter how.
Yeah, but
argue work on it. There are physical
If
attributes.
it's only physical
that you possess
attributes,
that separate you from the pack of
then
just
that's
all-time
fine,
great
but
players. Then I agree. I agree with the idea.
I don't
generational
agree
talent.
with
And
the
in
fact
that argument, I
that
guess
Curry
I
is
can
not a
also understand how
generational
Curry
talent.
kind of falls under
Curry's
the
always gonna be
image of someone who's
nigga.
not a generational talent. I see what he's saying. I also just believe, however, that there are physical traits that Curry does possess that makes it practically impossible for somebody to mimic him.
Emulate,
but I
bro.
understand what they're attempting to say. When I see Giannis, I'll be like, bro, if people were trying to explain us who Giannis was back in the 60s, no one would ever believe them. So that's the reason why I kind of believe that maybe what Chamberlain was real. Like, the things he did was actually true. But, like, you can't say that Giannis is tweaking. Giannis is, like, very clearly
bro, like what?
a generational talent.
This
Based off
nigga
of
is
this
7
argument
foot.
that you're trying to
He's nah, like he's come on, bro.
So the Dallas Mavericks are going.
Nah, that's goofy, bro. Curry's not a generational talent. Bro, no, he is, bro, and that's final.
I don't give a fuck. I'm psyched the fuck out on the one. I fuck about the fame, my status. I get it, got touched. I know I don't take too much. And they be like, garment shit, you doing too much.